All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about this whole. I guess it basically boils down to like DSC, which is essentially an algorithm that makes it so like DisplayPort 1.4 or HDMI 2.1 can push past, like 144 hertz refresh rate. It's an algorithm that obviously does have some, mathematical loss when it comes to like what's being sent to your, to your screen from your GPU or whatever, but it has like a lossless quality, so you really can't tell or decipher that you're losing any type of image quality whatsoever. Like it literally has a like for like look to a native image or whatever. So here's the thing, my friends, and this is why I'm frustrated, because I have went out of my way and purchased a lot of older games recently for the PC. And I like using stuff like virtual super resolution or DSLR to in fact pump up the overall resolution of that game and then have it downsampled to either my 1440p monitor, sometimes even my 4K TV, so that I can get better looking image quality and be able to get rid of bottlenecks that might occur when you're using a lower resolution. So, in fact, with my 4080 Super, which is clearly a powerful card, like it should easily be able to handle that. The problem is that on my monitor, I have a setting in there where I can get in there and I can deselect, DSC and force it to just do native image rendering at the and it only my monitor will only do 144 hertz that way. So if I send that image to it, then I only get the 144 hertz. And with some of those games, guys, some of them older games, I can easily push past 144 hertz with a 4080 Super. So the problem lies that Nvidia cutting corners and not doing like a 2.1 or DisplayPort 2.1 like the AMD cards do. It makes it so I can't really use what I want to use to the fullest extent of how I want to use that. And to me, guys, that is a little bit frustrating. I'm not even gonna lie. That immediately made me take out that 4080 Super and put the 7900 XT back in there because I can fully use that card. Now, I get that these topics make a lot of people like, yeah, man, I know that they make a lot of people frustrated, but dude, it's the simple fact that we pay a heftier price for the privilege of using Nvidia when AMD is a really good option. And I don't run into these types of issues very often with AMD. Now, obviously, there are problems with AMD. It is not perfect, but when it matters, it's actually on point. Like I get plenty of VRAM with my AMD cards. I get to use the features that everybody would buy a 240 hertz monitor to use, and then to be able to on cherry on top be able to use virtual super resolution to push my image quality even higher. Now, this might not be an issue for a lot of people, but and I get that, man. Most people are average, just your everyday consumer. They don't really care about a lot of this stuff. They just want to get in there and play video games. I mean, that's why they make consoles. That's why they make consoles, is so you don't have to think or worry about any of this stuff. And yes, there is a pretty dang big learning curve when it comes to PC gaming. But thankfully, there are things. I mean, thankfully, PC is you can enter PC at any place, and you can 100% have that consumer experience where you're not worried about anything. But then when you start digging around and learning new things and kicking things around, that's when you start to really understand just how much farther PC can go over that average consumer experience. Now, people get mad at me because I am like learning a lot. It sounds like I'm learning a lot more than these guys are, a lot faster just through my experience running into these roadblocks that obviously make me look at things in a different way. I use virtual super resolution and I use it a lot. I use DSR and I use that a lot. I use those more than I use FSR or DLSS. I do like that right there. Using virtual super resolution usually negates the need to even upscale because I'm essentially just running at a higher resolution and then downsampling to a lower resolution. But there are some games that obviously, that if they're a heavier game, well, I don't really have that problem as much anymore. Now that I have, like a higher refresh rate monitor, now the 3840 by 1440p does look pretty dang good for the most part. But guys, when I find these problems and then I get the little rude comments in the section, like telling me that I'm just a biased AMD fanboy and stuff like that really does kind of like that really sucks. Like I get that I've made content that would make you feel that way, but I feel like I've been more than fair with Nvidia, and I think, and I really do feel like I've been trying to bridge that gap and not be so destructive toward the PC community when it comes to Nvidia versus AMD. I feel like I've done my part to try to make things better, and so when I come up with these issues or with FSR running better and looking better on an AMD card versus what you would get on an Nvidia card, like I don't understand the pushback. I really don't. Like it doesn't make any sense to me, especially in the PC space. Now I can definitely understand this coming from the console mindset. And yes, I've brought some of that console mindset to the PC space. I 100% agree with that. But at the same time, you would think that this would be a lot different. And I get it, man. There's a huge crowd out there that is from the consumer mindset when it comes to PC gaming. And for the most part, I am too. Like I definitely fit that mold, but I also when I buy these products, when I go out and I spend, another $1,000 on a monitor, and then I run into something like this, that's disappointing, man. Imagine if I only had a 4080 Super, then I would be like, oh my gosh, then I probably would have never even found. I mean, I would have obviously found this problem, but I wouldn't have known that there is a better option out there for being able to utilize this monitor even more to its even to use more of this monitor's feature set. Now that sucks that I have to gimp the monitor for the 4080 Super. And will I get over it? Obviously, I'm definitely going to be able to get over it. I'm not going to sell my 4080 Super. But yesterday I was really considering it. Like I was like, gosh dang, man, I really should have bought the 7900 XTX. But I didn't know I was going to buy this monitor at that point. But this absolutely teaches me something more about the PC experience that most people are not going to have. Like if you're running an AMD card, you're not going to have this problem. Like you're going to be okay. If you're running an Nvidia card, yeah, this is going to suck, man. Like this sucks. Especially like say you went out and bought a 4090, which is $700 to $800 more than a 4080 Super at MSRP. Say you bought that card and you wanted to utilize that extra raw power to just push more pixels so that you can get rid of whatever bottlenecks that you might be facing, but you can't do it because you got to gimp your monitor. And then when you gimp your monitor, and then you get, yeah, dude, it that really sucks, man. That really sucks. And for anybody to like be out there being like, yeah, man, you don't know. Come on, guys. Come on. These GPUs are so freaking expensive now. It's not even funny. And to be able to like for Nvidia to cut corners like they do on an almost $2,000 GPU and a $1,000 GPU, like that doesn't make any sense at all to me. That anybody could even try to defend that. That to me is crazy. Crazy. So, before you make any more like rude comments, just try to understand that. Look, I've been trying really hard to not emphasize the things that are bugging me, that bug me about the NVIDIA GPU. I have been. And this one here was just kind of this is the straw that broke the camel's back this weekend. It's like I was getting ready to start testing the 4080 Super on the monitor even after FSR 3.1 just dropped for the AMD cards. I was still committed to putting the 4080 Super back in to test the monitor for the people in the community that wanted to see that. that freaking not being able to do that really made me mad, guys. Like that made me mad. Like to the point where I immediately took that thing back out and put the 7900 XT back in there to just cover FSR 3.1. That made me mad. I will put the 4080 Super back in eventually, but like right now, guys, I'm still a little bit upset about this whole thing and how this worked out. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.